After the Patira, the passing of Chidush Harim, the first Ger Rebbe, was a very dark time. It was a very depressing time for his Hasidim. They had seen a series of great Rebbes, the Rebbe of Simcha ben Reb Shishcha, and then the Katzker Rebbe and the Chidush Harim. They were exposed to such light, and the Chidush Harim died. There was a little bit of a rough patch until they regrouped and found themselves a new Rebbe. And not long after his Patira, the Chassidim was sitting down for a Suda, for a meal, and one of them had a l'chaim. He had a drink, and then he had another drink, and it was, like I said, a depressing time. So maybe he had a third drink, a fourth drink, and he got very drunk, unbecomingly drunk. And he started to walk, and he staggered, and he fell onto the street outside the Besser. He was lying there in his filth, drunk, and it really wasn't appropriate. A distinguished chassid, a balavayda, lying there drunk on the floor, surrounded by his filth. And the chassidim were looking at him, and they were discussing it, how unbecoming it was. This chassid got up, drunk, he held himself, fell down again. And from lying down, he said, you know what? He says, Besser, it's better to lie here on the sidewalk of alive, living, than to lie next to the Rebbe in the Beis HaChaim in the cemetery. With all his greatness, with all that he's developed, with all his incredible spiritual lofty dimensions that the Chidush Harim had, but not alive anymore. What he was saying was the sight was the foundation of everything. It's better to be alive and fighting. It's better to be lying on the sidewalk alive than to be lying in the cemetery not alive, even with all the accomplishments in the world. I have a friend, a mentor, Rabbi Lipschitz, he's the editor of Yetzer Hara. He told me he once had the opportunity to visit one of the tzaddikim of Yerushalayim, Rabbi Meir Shechter Shlita. Rabbi Meir Shechter from the Ziknei Besser Chasidus. Rabbi Meir told him, you have a newspaper? Hast that Zeitung? Here's what you should write. Tell the people in America that they should know that they have a Yetzer Hara, and it's okay. And they shouldn't feel bad if the Yetzer Hara sometimes wins. That was his message, Rabbi Meir's message to the Jews of America. You have a Yetzer Hara, and sometimes the Yetzer Hara is going to win, and sometimes you're going to win, but you're alive, and being alive means being able to fight. Walk in the streets, and a lot of times we find ourselves lying on the sidewalk. Like that chassid by the Chidush Harim. It's not so glorious, we don't feel so good about ourselves, we don't feel so bad about ourselves, and maybe we even lost, but we're alive. Being alive means you get up from the sidewalk, you're not in the Beis HaChaim, you're here. You're on the battleground of life, where every single move counts, and you walk on, and you smile, and you say l'chaim, because we're still here.